Okay, here we go. We're going to straighten that out. There we go. Better. Not perfect, but better. No. Nope. I don't know why you're seeing that. Hold on, everybody. Nope. I just sent you the link. Nope. Here we go. Not sure. Okay, should be good here, JR. Yep, we should be good to go here, folks. Got it. Good. Yep. Always look for the date, and we're good to go. Good. Terrific. All right, folks, we're live in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and we are live. Okay. And we're going to be ready. Okay. We're just waiting for our cue from our friend JR, and then we're going to be good to go. At 12:06 on this Thursday, and it's a very important Thursday, as a matter of fact, folks. It's a huge Thursday. I'm going to explain why, but you are listening or watching the John DePietro Show. I want to welcome everybody tuning in, part of our live simulcast that we do. This is the, as we're calling it, the real news at noon, so to speak. Sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we do not, but either way, we are certainly live at noon, and you can listen AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can always listen online at our website, which is depetro.com. Then what I like to do also, first of all, there are many individuals that are listening to us on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Excuse me. I always like to show people also other various ways that you can listen to the program, right? And so one way, actually I could show it through, no, I'll just show this. So if you just on your phone, on your mobile device, right? If you log on to depetro.com, depetro.com, I believe we have it, we do, where it's scrolling underneath. Look what it says right at the very top, listen live. So if you click on that, and then you just press the play button, you're going to hear how clear it is, and it's very, very clear. So that's one way. Now, I want to stay on the website just for a moment, because if you then scroll down, you'll see all of our links to social media. For instance, that's Facebook, that's X, this using the Twitter symbol, Instagram, and then YouTube. And then you go down, and then you have, you can support the program, more information about the Chosen One. We have our shop. If you want to contact me directly, right now we're getting almost essentially every day, a different sponsor comes forward and says, how can I be part of what you're doing, which is so different than everybody else. Actually, just what we're doing right now is so different than anybody else. And then you can see, if you scroll down, the various stories we have, such as wanted for the Woonsocket shooting. That individual, I mean, if that is not, how about he's wearing a Scarface, the scene of a Scarface t-shirt, say hello to my little friend, while he's got the pistol in his hand. And of course, the face covering that they all wear, by the way. If you watch Road Patrol, there are so many individuals that now wear this. It's not a wintertime thing. It's a lightweight ski mask that they wear year round, not like the orange one made famous by the nutcase Perkins. So you have wanted for the Woonsocket shooting. You go below that. What's this? Yes, Providence Police body cam video of the arrest on Vicksburg Street, and that was the armed suspect. Then you also have, we broke the story yesterday, Andrew Martin in custody. So you have all of our various stories, everything about Hopkinton, all of the video that we were part of the chase on Saturday, then we were breaking news on Saturday and Sunday. So I like to walk people through. People don't realize that. I've had people say, all right, now when I log on to DePietro.com, then how can I listen? You then just click on the listen live button, and then it pulls up. And by the way, the stream is so crystal clear. Now I believe we're run on a slight delay. So as much as I'm what you're doing. Yeah, so that's me, but a slight delay. And then obviously there are people watching on Facebook, of course, our FB crowd. But then something we've added now is you go to X, formerly Twitter, and there we are live on X. You know what else I like about X is when you do go live, at the very top, they have it's right there. You just click on that. And there I am. Again, slight delay. But we're not, someone said, you're censoring. I'm not censoring anything. It's just that they work on a little bit of a slight delay. And then let me just go for all right, so AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can listen, that's number one. You can listen at the website, which is DePietro.com. I just showed you how. I just showed you how. Then you have, of course, our simulcast on Facebook, which remains our main home, where we continue to expand. We're on the verge of 66,000 followers just on the page, then plus an additional 5,000 followers on the personal page. So, and then by demand, we have now expanded into, and now you can, I've had so many people that say, is there any way you could go live on YouTube? And there it is. There we are. There is the news at noon right there on YouTube. The crowd there is still getting used to it, obviously. Not the numbers we were expecting, but hey, you got to start somewhere. So we're not discouraged in any way. All right. So with that, folks, I'd like to, and by the way, I have people that follow, say, first of all, what I like about YouTube is they send you an email now live on your YouTube channel. So you get that notice. But I did want to mention, if you just follow one platform, the content that we post on Instagram and now also, hold on. Also, I skipped, if you log on to petro.com, hold on, Harry, and go to the very bottom, you just scroll. You have the link to our TikTok account, which is continuing great growth on TikTok, as a matter of fact. So we had a video that, I think it went viral, 4.4 million views on TikTok, posted the same video, actually posted it twice, did 600,000 views. So that's 5 million views on TikTok. Then took the same video, posted on Instagram, did 5 million views on Instagram. So that video, 10 million views. I think that's pretty good. But anyhow, but the video, the content that we put up, it is different on the different platforms. For instance, the body cam video of the Providence Police. Now, we posted that on YouTube because they're more tolerant for whatever reason. Every platform is different. We don't, I just think I'd get flagged on that on this particular platform. So on YouTube, they I don't know, they each platform is different. And believe me, it's not easy trying to navigate. So this is acceptable here, it's not acceptable there. We could do Road Patrol live on Instagram if we want, X, Facebook, and YouTube. But TikTok doesn't like that we do Road Patrol. I was speaking with someone on the West Coast that um, that they were trying to do almost mimic Road Patrol, and they kept getting flagged. So YouTube, they changed the algorithm. I don't know what it is. That's okay. You can't you can't even they just not a problem. Hold on one moment. We'll call after one. Okay, there we go. One is always in demand. But anyhow, so my point is, if you're just following us on Facebook, there's different content on Instagram. I can use Instagram with music. If I do the same video on Facebook, they flag you and say, "Hey, that's copyright." Even though I'm going through your selection on Reels, but anyhow, so YouTube, they have 18 plus, and that's where our stuff fits in. I'm not creating content for 10-year-olds. All due respect to 10-year-olds, but no, it's adult content. By the way, that doesn't mean it's obscene content. It's just they break it off as to, is this geared towards children? So it's not like a movie theater where you'd go to see an R-rated film, but who's ever actually gone to a theater and seen a film that was rated X? I don't even know if they have that anymore. I don't even know if they have it anymore. I don't know if anyone's even going to the movies anymore. But anyhow, all right. Now let's stay on track. This portion of the program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron. Folks, right now they have locally sourced vegetables, sweet corn, native tomatoes. Now, I mean, it all depends on whether or not you like fresh vegetables, because they have a tremendous selection of fresh vegetables. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Remarkable work of art type of fresh vegetables, corn, tomatoes, plus they have hanging pots, hanging patience, pansy, marigold bags. Make your home more beautiful, make your patio more beautiful, make your deck or your workplace. They have full-scale nursery. The service is excellent, and they actually, and I compliment them, they do a good job with their Facebook page. Gift certificates are available. They're open 7 days a week. Pop in on your way back from the beaches. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. All right, now we have a story that we're going to break this afternoon. Standing by, but you're going to want to check out depetro.com. That's where we post everything. It is, in fact, depetro.com, which we have so much original content. And I'm going to tell you where that comes in handy. It's all sponsored by and brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Remember, lunch, dinner. Anthony Santos said drinks in the lounge. Plus, they have the market at Coesit, the Coesit Inn. Now, what I really like about depetro.com is it's all about content. It's all about content. So we know, those of you that follow the program, and by the way, our Facebook people, thank you for the stars on this Thursday. It's not your imagination. I mean, what does the weekend mean anymore? What does the weekend mean? A week ago, Sunday night, we were on Cranston Street for the shooting. We spent this past Saturday in the pouring rain with the Hopkinton 12-hour delay murder-suicide. On Saturday and Sunday, we were the only ones that had exactly what had happened. We were the only ones that had the video of what happened. We had the fact that he had been charged, all of that, Saturday, Sunday. So it all depends on how you like your news. I am one of those people that I try to put out content the type of content that I prefer to receive and absorb. So not everyone's like that, by the way, but I prefer sources that tell me something I don't know, To me, there is a value for who can have it first. I like people that are on the scene that are talking about it or showing you. Um, those of you that are avid road patrol know, our biggest challenge right now is not getting to a scene, it's getting to a scene before the police arrive. And that's a credit to the Road Patrol Command Center that we have set up. It's for those of you that watch at night, it has almost become like a running joke where I arrive and I think, oh, wow, do I have the right address? Did they clear? Huh. And then all of a sudden, then we see the police arriving. Now, that could be a dangerous situation to be in. So far, it hasn't been. But you're going to find out by following that, and I'm very happy the way that is going. Now, this is a very consequential day. Before I talk about that, I also want to just mention we have, let's just say you like the program and you want to support independent media. You know what else I want to just highlight? The difference, because I understand a lot of people don't get it. There are people that say, I don't like long form. I want to know what happened in 60 seconds. Doesn't matter to me if it's live. There are people that they never read a newspaper. They say I was busy this week, I didn't follow the news. There's those of us that follow the news minute to minute, hourly. Not everybody falls into that, which is, again, that's fine. But if you like to see as it's evolving and happening in real time, that's where we come in. And it's also unfiltered, uncensored. We were hours obviously on the scene on Saturday, and what we did and took up, when you saw how the whole thing kind of evolved, if you want, you could just put on television news, and I assure you, it's a 60-second package. But on the website now, someone knows who this individual is, wanted for the Woonsocket shooting, and his photo is there. That needs to be shared. Obviously, the Providence Police body cam video, I think they showed great restraint. But I do want to mention, and then at the very top, all the top stories that are there are all slowly scrolling by. So I'm very happy. I find DePietro.com, I mean, it's flying right now. We're having record traffic on the website. But I also just want to remind you of that if you click on the shop at DePietro.com, and then you can then see all the great merchandise that we have, all the Road Patrol Live. We have one on the scene. We have different variations of Road Patrol Live that people like. We also have, whether it's T-shirts or hats or mugs. And then we have the new merchandise. We have Team One. We have John DePietro Show. We also have the Road Patrol Command Center hats have come in. T-shirt looks fantastic, by the way. I really like that T-shirt. So there's various things that you can get at the website. And what I also want to point out, I love the mug, the way it came out. The Road Patrol Command Center mug that is just so important. It's a way, if you purchase merchandise, it all benefits the program. What's become a huge seller is the Road Patrol Command Center tank top. And I got a picture of someone wearing one of these at Sand Hill Cove just the other day. So they're definitely taking off. Now, listen, obviously the hats have become big sellers. I love the way the hat came out. It's so official, Road Patrol Command Center. And anyhow, so that is, and also, hey, maybe you just want to support the show and get a mug. That's fine. Kind of the way like public television does it. And you can do that as well. Someone says, yeah, I don't mind supporting the show, but I want to get something for it. Well, that's a way to get something out of it. So, all right, let me stay on schedule because this is important. What's happening this afternoon it's really important, as a matter of fact. I can't believe what is playing out in front of the White House. All right, 2 reminders, though. Number 1, sitting out last night outside on our deck, and this was before I went out of road patrol. Was I bitten by a mosquito? No. Are there any ticks? No. How is this possible? With all the rain, everyone's been saying, in this muggy weather, folks, Mosquito Joe of Rhode Island. You can find them on Facebook. Now, they'll go anywhere in Rhode Island. But Mosquito Joe of Rhode Island, they will treat your property. I put a link on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. And Mosquito Joe, they will get rid of your mosquito problem. I'm one of those people. I have a blood type. I actually attract mosquitoes. I know it's a cruel joke from our creator, but it's true. But Mosquito Joe will, we can sit outside and enjoy. I mean, it is enjoyable to sit outside, but not if you're fighting gnats and mosquitoes or then your pets and ticks. Mosquito Joe of Rhode Island. Now, before I tell you why today is so consequential, I do want to remind you about Royal Exterior. I'll tell you, if you're getting, with all the rain we've had, if you have any types of problems with leaks with your home, Royal Exteriors and Siding, call Andrew. Remember, Royal Exterior, where the customer is king or queen, 401-533-9989. You deal directly with the owner, Andrew. Let's just say you think of getting new roofing or siding. Okay, and you want to put a few people in play, right? All I'm asking is let them in on the equation. Because if Royal Exteriors, if you give Andrew an opportunity to pitch the job, so to speak, to feel you out about the job, that is who you will select. But it all begins with a phone call, 401-533-9989, free estimate, Royal Exteriors, right in Johnston, whether it's for your roof or siding, Royal Exteriors, and their reviews are fantastic. Remember, Royal Exteriors, where the customer is king or queen. So today, you want to talk about like where we are right now. This afternoon, and I'm seeing different times of when this is going to take place. I initially saw that this is taking place at 5:30. Now I'm hearing that it's maybe 6:30, but it's one of the two. So it's either 5:30 or 6:30. But why is today? You want to like just an idea of where we have reached is the fact that it's a red letter consequential day because the leader of the free world, the president of the United States, President Biden, is going to stand up. I believe he's going to stand, unless he's going to sit, and attempt to answer questions and hold a press briefing alone, alone for 1 hour. So what is so remarkable about that is if you step back for a moment, that's something that any mayor should be able to do. That's something that any governor should be able to do. That's something that any congressional representative should be allowed to, or should be able to, is what I meant, or senator. The fact that it's a high stakes news conference as he's fighting for survival, and the eyes of the world will be on the 81-year-old solo appearance at a NATO summit, concerns over his age and health. The White House has dubbed it a big boy press conference. That actually came from one of the reporters that said, I know he's going to maybe just do a quick gaggle, but is he going to do, and it was actually a reporter, it was kind of funny, and said, I mean like a big boy press conference where you stand there alone. A big boy press conference. It really wasn't the White House that said it. It was a reporter that said it. Okay, so now, all right, I'm not wrong. It was delayed by an hour to 6:30. 6:30. So could turn the trickle of Democrats who have far urged him to abandon his election bid. So I want to was delayed by an hour, 6:30. It was supposed to be 5:30, so I'm not wrong. Now it's 6:30, which I'm very surprised at that, only because the later it gets, for those of you that have ever dealt with an elder individual, whether it is a parent or a grandparent or just some older person that you know, there are people that work in nursing homes, people that deal with elderly. He is elderly. Donna Perry touched on this the other day when we were talking, and it's an element of and it's a condition, but it's sunsetting. And this White House that can't seem to get out of their own way, why anyone that has ever dealt with someone that is prone to that condition, um, it is it's it is I'm very surprised. Maybe if you've ever had a family member that, let's say, sundowning. I'm sorry, sundowning. I was saying sunsetting. Sundowning, restlessness, agitation, irritability, or confusion that can begin or worsen as daylight begins to fade, often just when tired caregivers need a break. Sundowning. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was saying sunsetting. Sundowning can continue into the night, making it hard for people with Alzheimer's to fall asleep and stay in bed. So it's sundowning. So this is, why are they doing this at 6:30 is what I'm saying. How do you stop sundowning in the elderly? When possible, spend time outside in the sunlight during the day. Make notes about what happens before sundowning events. Try to identify triggers. Reduce stimulation during the evening hours. For example, avoid watching TV, doing chores, or listening to loud music. What is the sundown effect in dementia? Sometimes might seem change in the person's behavior in the later afternoon towards the end of the day. During this time, the person may become intensely distressed, agitated, have hallucinations or delusions. Why are they doing this at 6:30? If they're going to do, obviously, listen, the Biden White House is the Biden White House, but clearly, if you were going to put him out there, based on what we've seen, we all, well, most people saw the debate. I still don't understand people that either didn't see the debate, or the Stephanopoulos interview was it was 22 minutes long. George Stephanopoulos interviewed him, spent time with him, and what did he say? He can't do 4 more years. And they even, had him tan and tried to make him seem like he's rested and relaxed. But it didn't matter. But to show how tone deaf they are, if you were going to trot President Biden or someone else out and say, we want to show the world that he's actually, he's fine. At the very least, from what we understand at the White House, his hours, he's been working 10 to 4, the part-time president, and that includes a nap in the afternoon. My point is, I don't understand why you wouldn't say, maybe it's because of the NATO meetings, but why they wouldn't say, we're going to have him do this press briefing at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning. I really don't understand what they're doing. I don't. Now, and I want to talk about, where is this leading right now? He's clearly not up to it. I know a lot of people are just very dismissive of, Crooked Joe and this other stuff, but more of the press is recognizing that they have been covering for him, but they're not covering for him any longer. Jake Tapper on CNN, I think he's been as aggressive as anyone. Don't discount George Clooney penning an op-ed saying he's not up to it. I saw that when Clooney raises a lot of money for the Democrats. They need that money to be competitive. That would be one way to try to shut off the spigot, is the money flowing in. But my point is, even if he's able to tonight, now it's tonight, be able to handle himself in a 1-hour press briefing. Again, what does that mean? He's going to have his notes. He's going to have his cards. I'm sure they're going to, and they do this for an orderly way, where they have it set in front of, first you're going to call on, just as an example, Ed O'Keefe of CBS. Then you're going to call on the reporter from the New York Times. Then you're going to call on ABC. Then you're going to call on the Associated Press and Reuters and blah, blah, blah. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with having it done in an orderly fashion. And I'm going to touch on doing things in an orderly fashion. But even if he is able to do it, and this is working without a net. I am shocked they're doing this as I think of it at 6:30. Obviously, like everyone else, you want to see it, but they have set it up an impossible task where one wrong phrase or word, and that's what everybody's harping on. He is clearly not capable. But look at how Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts is sticking by him. In Rhode Island, Gabe Amo, Congressman Amo, he was campaigning for him in New Hampshire. Seth Magaziner, oh yeah, 4 more years. Governor McKee and Sabina Matos, Lieutenant Governor, all fully on board with Biden. The detrimental effect of the people that want him to jump out of the race, the chaos that could ensue, and the fact that they could be leading into Republicans not only taking the White House, but also the House and the Senate. I mean, this is high stakes, but my read is we'll see how tonight goes, but the Bidens do not want to leave. They don't want to leave. They like the power. She likes the power. She's the problem. The First Lady's the problem. You know, it kind of reminds me of in The Godfather when he's talking about, Tatalia. And then he's like, all along it was Barsini. The Godfather figures out who is really the one behind the power attempt. Barzini, the real person behind the curtain here is the First Lady. She's the one who has been guiding this. First Lady Jill Biden, she likes the scenario. She's the ultimate. She is right now living the closest thing you could live to be the president without being elected. She's the gatekeeper to the president. She okays his meetings. She okays his schedule. First Lady Jill Biden is, you can never have an unelectable person making the decisions. That was also always a problem, and I don't blame people, when Fauci was making all the calls during COVID. The person that makes the ultimate decision has to be the person that was elected. Otherwise, what's the point of all this? But much way the Godfather says, Tatalia, it was Barzini all along. It's really Jill Biden that is driving the train, even though they're all still focused on the president. Now, folks, I want to remind you right now on this Thursday, if you're having any type of foot problem, and I mentioned, I am very active during the course of the day and night, walking 7-8 miles a day, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I had problems with my feet. That's why Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist, and the right in the Smithfield Medical Center, Route 5 in Smithfield. You can call and set up an appointment, 401-949-3220, 401-949-3220, Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist, online at greenvillefoothandankle.com. Remember, having foot pain, it's not normal. That's not your cross to bear. You shouldn't look at foot pain or ankle pain as God's will. That's you're wrong about that. So whether if you have a skin condition or bunion or hammer toe or a fracture or a sprain or plantar fasciitis, which I've dealt with in the past, where it makes it very difficult, if not impossible, it feels like you have nails in your heel, I'll tell you who can solve it for you, and that's Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist, right there in the Smithfield Medical Center, Route 5 in Smithfield. Call and set up an appointment. What I want to stress to you is these are 3 board-certified podiatrists. These are doctors. Now, the latest craze or phase, I should say, or fad, is you have these stores that pop up. And you go in and there's always a young clerk there. And they say, yeah, I can sell you inserts. They're only, $500 to $1,000. They're not a doctor. They're not a doctor. Foot pain is not normal, should not be ignored. They specialize, Greenville Foot and Ankle, they specialize in custom foot inserts. to alleviate painful, achy feet. Call today, set up an appointment. Most patients feel better walking out and leaving the office. 401 949 3220. 401 949 3220. Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist. Well, folks, good afternoon. Now, I want to talk about Governor McGreed and the bridge, but I also want to remind people someone sent me a note. They have some time off in August. They're thinking of, they'd like to go on a road trip. And I did post on Facebook that there is Alan Hochman Tours presents Red Sox to Baltimore. I've gone on this road trip. It's a blast. You all ride down. It's a party on the ride down. You stay right at the harbor. You take in the games, and then it brings you right back. It's a fun trip. Round trip motor coach transportation. Tickets to all you can eat suite Friday, 7 o'clock. It's such a summertime thing. It's a nice group that goes. And obviously, children can go and so forth. So you walk to the game. You're right at the Marriott Sheraton. It's so fun. Red Sox Baltimore. Call Alan Hochman Tours, 401-274-TRIP, online at 274trip.com. It's coming up in August 16th through the 18th. Red Sox Baltimore. A road trip is a lot of fun, and Alan runs a great trip. Now, I want to just touch on what took place, and it's closer to home. It's a Rhode Island story, as I have been talking about. By the way, next hour on the radio show, you're going to hear Dan McGowan of the Boston Globe. But folks, those of you in the Rhode Island area, I mean, this administration, the entire budget is built on President Biden being in office. The failed bridge plans that the Governor McKee has put forward are all based on the idea that President Biden would be in office. They are under the false assumption that the Biden administration is going to pay 75% of the cost. As an insider told me, if President Trump gets into office, which is looking more and more as the likely possibility, and by the way, next week we'll have full coverage of the Republican convention in Milwaukee, that the state may not get 75 cents if President Trump takes over. Why would President Trump? I want you to look at this equation. The Rhode Island officials, McKee, they have blown through billions of dollars with no accountability. No one's been terminated. No one's been suspended. No one's lost their job, terminated by anything. No one has lost anything. And McKee and Matos, they're not just elected Democrat politicians. They are very partisan, attacking politicians. The two of them. And the same goes, by the way, for our Washington delegation as far as Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Congressman Seth Magaziner, Congressman Amo. The idea that any Republican would step forward and say, we have to bail out Governor McKee and Matos, and it's never happening. The only one that is different than the rest of them is Senator Reid, because of his military background. And Senator Reid holds, but even he would be out of power, both with the Senate, and then they lose the White House and the House. But what can't be underestimated, what we've seen play out over the past 2 days with the McKee administration, it's so consistent that he is the wrong person for the job. Now, we had Ken Block on yesterday. Ken Block is a results-oriented type of individual, someone who we know is going to challenge Governor McKee for the nomination. Is this Helena Foulkes, former CEO of CBS? She is a result-oriented individual. Meaningless talk doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters to business people is results, right? That's the only thing that matters. One of the reasons people like sports is if it's football, the only thing that matters is if you can put the ball in the end zone. It's not about pregame It's not about practice. It's not about looking good in the uniform. The only thing that matters is if you can put the ball into the end zone. Period. End of story. And win and stop the other guy. So with McKee, he's like the polar opposite. That press conference, look at what has taken place the past 2 days. The press conference on Tuesday. Now, Governor McKee took over in March of 21. Gina Raimondo was governor. She became Commerce Secretary. Dan McKee, Lieutenant Governor, becomes the governor. So follow me now. March of 21. 22, he had been a year in office. 23, he had been 2 years in office. This past March, 3 years in office. And actually, April, May, June, we're 4 months in. So more than 3 years. This group, the McKee administration, they're still incapable of running a press conference. And I know that some people may not understand the significance of that, but it's the little things. Anyone in business will tell you, if you can't master the little things, if you're in a workplace and you have a brand new hire or you have an intern, it's all a matter of once you can master the basics, then they move you up and then perhaps you get more responsibility. They can't even master doing a press briefing. It's not that it was just lacking information. They can't even run an effective press briefing. On Tuesday, Governor McKee always likes to have a lot of people involved, and he's got the head of the state police there. He's not saying anything. And we're going to have Joe Allman. He's acting as the MC as if they need one. The only two people that needed to be there, and then he's got, I don't know who the hell he had. Liz Tanner's there, and someone else is there. They're gonna. He likes to have like a big group, and they're all sitting down. Where they're so incompetent is if you want to have, which they did, 6 people, then have 6 microphones, and they were all sitting down. So then when someone says, "I have a question," not that anyone did, but for the head of the state police, well, he's sitting there. So you want to do kind of like a panel almost. Right? Like match game or something. You want to do a panel, at least have them all mic'd up. Where they're so incompetent is McKee kept, do you see, if you saw it, he kept going back and sitting down. The only 2 people anyone wanted to listen to were Governor McKee and Peter Alviti, DOT director. And it really should have just been the governor. But what is almost comical is he had nothing new to announce other than he doesn't know. And then all he kept saying was the attorneys will have more information the next day, which was yesterday. So the attorneys that the state has hired to investigate this whole thing. So Governor McKee, again, I can't stress this enough. On Tuesday, he kept saying, that's a question for the attorneys. That's a question for Max Wistow. That's a question for the attorneys that are looking into day of reckoning, who's responsible, who you're going to sue, blah, blah, blah. So the media goes, there's the attorneys. And what did the attorneys say? Well, we can't speak on behalf of the administration. Like, what are you talking about? Governor McGreed spent all of Tuesday saying, well, you're going to have to ask Max Wistow and the attorney. Well, you're going to have to ask them. Well, that's a question for them. So yesterday comes along. What do they say? Well, we can't answer those questions. I mean, it's just beyond the pale of pathetic. And keep in mind, McKee, of course, he still thinks Biden's up to the job. Birds of a feather, incompetent birds of a feather. Of course, they flock together. I want to talk about, because this is very serious, what's going on about the bridge. And it's something that I have been echoing. Governor McKee also, notice, he keeps saying, well, December 11th, and as if he looks at it as though he's not responsible for anything before December 11th of 2023. Hey, guess what, Gov? You were governor before that. You took over in March of 21, all of 22, and all of 23. Well, December 11th really is when my responsibility started. Wrong. Who was 1 year ago? 1 year ago, July, that bridge was past inspection. How is this possible? It wasn't until a new company came in A new company came in that took a look at this and said, how is this bridge open? This bridge could collapse at any time. And even then, McKee said, well, let's wait till after the Army-Navy game because I want to go to that at Gillette. Folks, I received an email from Paula, and Paula has a new dog. Congratulations. And so they're going to put up a fence. So they want to be able to open the back door and let the new dog out into the backyard, and then open the door and let him come back in, or he or she, the dog. Paula, contact, and this goes for anyone, by the way, fenceri.com. Fenceri.com, the premier fence and deck contractor. Call them today, 401-732-0555. 401-732-0555. fenceri.com. Now, long-term quality solutions. Why does someone have a fence installed? Home or business, by the way. Number one reason is a pet. Number two reason can be a pool or some water structure, by the way. Sometimes people, if you're going to have a hot tub outside, you really should have your fence fenced in, because then if somebody somehow gets into your yard and then drowns, they're going to blame you. Or privacy, or security, by the way. fenceri.com. If you mention our program, you get a $200 discount. Wood deck construction. They do great decks. Long-term quality solutions. fenceri.com. Their website is fenceri.com. Look for them on Facebook. Call them 401-732-0555. Whether it is for residential or commercial. fenceri.com. I mentioned that a business owner contacted me, and they're tired of individuals that walk through the back of their property, of the building and the company that he has. So he had a fence set up for security, and they just get tired of some people hanging around in the back, especially at night. fenceri.com, $200 discount. Call them 401-732-0555. So, but make no mistake about it. What we're really looking at, this is such a consequential time. How is the race still tied? I don't understand how the race could still be tied, and I don't believe that it's tied. So some big things to watch. Number one is the Biden press conference tonight. Now, if he does well, he's not leaving the race. If he does well, the Bidens want to stay in power. They want the second term. They would even prefer that he pass away in office, and then they have the big presidential funeral. But the longer this goes on, they are on the verge of losing not only the White House, but the Senate and the House. Now, you can have George Clooney saying he needs to get out. You can have different reps saying he needs to get out. But if he does well tonight, they're pushing back. They're not going to exit. I'm not saying it's the right decision, by the way. It's more to me. It's really the wife. He is senile and in denial. If you saw that Stephanopoulos interview, he's delusional. They're also he doesn't have all the proper information. He was shocked at his approval rating. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe the polls. The Biden message is one message, and that is Trump's a bad guy and we can beat him. But no one's focusing on Trump. Let me just see this. The embattled Biden campaign tests Kamala Harris' strength versus Trump. Under siege from fellow Democrats, President Biden's campaign is quietly testing the strength of Vice President Kamala Harris in a head-to-head survey of voters as Biden fights for his political future. The survey, which is being conducted this week, commissioned by the Biden campaign, is believed to be the first time since the debate Biden's aides have sought to measure how Harris would fare at the top of the ticket. It was described by 3 people who were informed about it, insisted because of the sensitivity nature. They did not specify why the survey was being conducted or what the campaign planned to do with the results. Let them have her run, because either way, people are not going to vote for her. She's not a serious person. She's not a serious individual. She has a lot of liabilities, and he is right now I mean, this is, to me, it's so fascinating what is taking place with the president, with the Biden campaign, and that they are essentially trying to block everybody out. They are. So this is big. And then more and more individuals that are calling him. I heard, I think I saw, as a matter of fact, that the um, Black Congressional Caucus, of which he went to, that even their members now, I think I saw that, are starting to um, meet to say they want him replaced at the top of the ticket. This is new. Mike Quigley says, Representative, he expects more Dems to come out today, publicly call for Biden to drop out of the race. They're waiting for this NATO conference to end. So they're waiting for, that's a funny thing that I just saw. You literally see this woman's eyes rolling, like they have to wait for it to end. Let him stay at the top of the ticket or let it become Harris. As much as I know that some of the Rhode Island people are saying that they think it's going to be Commerce Secretary Raimondo. I don't see it. You're not going to. I'm not saying it's the right move, by the way. You're not going to. Right now, the way this is structured, the Vice President Harris, her team, they've made it impossible for anyone to go around her. So, as much as it was only the Journal that wrote that ridiculous headline, oh, they're all eyeing, Gina Raimondo. I mean, I'm not saying she won't run for president. I'm just saying right now, it's not an open. If it was an open primary, it'd be a different deal. There was no love between Commerce Secretary Raimondo and Kamala Harris. I'll tell you that. And right or wrong, whether it's Raimondo or Gavin Newsom, now I think he's also said, the governor of California, he wouldn't challenge the vice president. They're both from California. They may look at it as like it's not their turn, it's not their time, and just start looking forward to 28. I think Raimondo falls into the same camp. I think she falls into the same camp. But folks, the entire McKee regime is built on that Biden is in office, and they just get all this money from the White House. Remember, Rhode Island was one of the last states to keep getting the COVID money. Under a Trump administration, under Republican-controlled Senate and House, the McKee administration is going to get blown out of the water. And there's too many, it's ridiculous, the spending that goes on. We are overtaxed, too reliant, as Justin Katz says, we're too reliant on the federal government. This incompetence is just not going to fly. So what would it take to really blow things up? It would take a change at the top, and President Trump could enter 2025 not only at the White House, but in control of the Senate and the House. Folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by AJ Drywall Plasters Home Improvement. Call them today, 401-323-9252. New homes, addition, commercial rehabs, AJ Drywall Plasters Home Improvement, 401-323-9252. Commercial rehabs, painting. If you're listening or watching right now on this Thursday, whether it's residential or commercial, if you're thinking of maybe having some work done, maybe you have an unfinished garage or basement, maybe you need some painting done, or you want to add on an addition, maybe an in-law apartment, AJ Drywall Plasters and Home Improvement. Call them for a free quote. They do great work. 401-323-9252. Get them into the mix, and they have a great Facebook page. Well, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Let's see. Linda asked me, Juan, love the program. What is the restaurant that serves authentic Mexican food on Federal Hill? I have some family visiting this weekend. We want to take them there. Linda, you want to take them to Don Jose's Tequila, upscale Mexican cuisine, 351 Apples Avenue in Providence. And you're in luck because Saturday night, they do the dining al fresco, which is the dining out front. They do have the back patio that I love. but it's authentic, upscale Mexican cuisine, Monday through Thursday, $26.99, three-course special. And don't forget, they do brunch on Sunday, 10:30 to 3. It's Don Jose's Tequila. Well, folks, good afternoon, 12:58. This is interesting. If you're listening to the John DePietro Show, AM 1380, 99.9 FM, this is the real news at noon. Now, I do expect we're going to have some news this afternoon. You're going to have to check depetro.com. Yes, we're doing Road Patrol later. The McKee Bridge thing is a joke. They're not going to solve the problem. His Tuesday press briefing had nothing new. He has the lawyers yesterday. They say you're going to have to wait till next month. This is pathetic. That's what it is. He is not the guy to solve this problem. He's just not. But I wonder if Nancy Pelosi actually has the pulse of the president and the first lady, and they want to wait till after this NATO summit, and then he's going to, I don't know. But tonight could be consequential. Tonight could be consequential, and all eyes are on Biden. So here's what we're going to do. Coming up, so we're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. Dan McGowan of the Boston Globe is going to join. You're going to hear him next hour. Yes, Road Patrol Live later. Watch depetro.com for breaking news out of Providence later this afternoon. All eyes on Biden. We're going to be back on the other side after the 1 o'clock news.